Brothers, if you are watching this video, if you are practicing semen retention, if you are eradicating lust in all its forms, I commend you. You're going against the grain. You're exposing PMO and its negative effects, real time. I wonder if in 50 years, collectively, society will look at PMO as being negative. You can think back to the 1940s or the 1950s, certain ads for cigarettes. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend Marlboro cigarettes for pregnant women. And doctors recommend Coca-Cola made with real cocaine for children. Now with a little perspective, a little hindsight, you can say, wow, maybe giving cigarettes to pregnant women isn't ideal. Maybe giving cocaine, or even soda for that matter, to children isn't ideal. But it takes men to actually practice retention, to experience the benefits, and be open enough to share, to be vulnerable. See, it's not necessarily water cooler talk. It's the quite opposite of water cooler talk. Go to your buds at work and say, hey, I'm holding, I'm retaining. And look at you kind of weird. It's just not normalized. There's just so much behind lust. And there's a big difference between lust and attraction. You can be attracted to the feminine as a man without it being lustful. But there's been a tinging of that natural attraction, masculine and feminine, to it being superficial lust. And when you practice for months, something that's interesting is many of the women that you used to find attractive actually exude some masculine qualities. You begin to appreciate grace in a woman. The more subtle aspects of femininity. Rather than just certain sizes of specific body parts. But it takes the act of actually practicing retention to experience benefits like this, to experience that aura. And it might feel difficult to start, overwhelming, looking at a mountain that you have to climb. You're at the bottom, but that's not what it is. It's a lifestyle. It's not a mountain that is to be climbed. It's a embodiment. You are no longer somebody that releases. You are a retainer, and a retainer retains. The version of yourself that you are becoming, that you are, does not release. You hold on to that energy. It is your energy. And you decide where that energy goes. You transmute that energy. It's an important one. You transmute the energy that you're accumulating. You're not sitting on your hands. Idle hands are the devil's playground. And I think many men get caught up in the word transmutation. It might be kind of a difficult word to conceptualize. It's, transmutation. But really, if you're retaining and you go work out and you feel calm, you feel more centered, more relaxed, more authentic after a workout, that's transmutation of that energy. If you would have released, you wouldn't have had the energy to work out in the fashion that you did. You're able to expend the energy the way that you see fit. Think of all the time, the fantasizing, the scrolling. If you remove that and there's a vacuum, what are you going to fill that up with? Not that, right? If you did something more productive, let's say you learned a new language, you learned business, you got ripped, you began some hobby that you've always wanted to, you reconnect with your inner child, and you start becoming the man that you wanted to be at that age. Who did you want to be when you were 7 years old? Are you that now? You can still become that. If you're sitting in a dark room, sweating over yourself, eyes glazed over, staring into a screen, is that who the 7-year-old version of yourself wanted you to be? Time to put it down. Most of this is letting go. Most of it is letting go of things that we thought we were, that we're actually not. It takes a level of awareness, a level of humility, a level of introspection to identify these things as maybe not being good for us. Maybe it is eroding our relationships. We're wasting time. See, men in the past didn't have access like this now, which is an interesting concept. So again, going back to that level of hindsight, it's not like we're looking at magazines under our parents' mattresses, or we're looking at images drawn on a cave wall. Like, this is intense stuff. And there hasn't been enough long-term evidence or information feedback to really show the harms. But I can assure you that 100% of the feedback is harmful. There's no benefit. What do you feel? A release of tension after you release? Is that what you want as a man? You want to release? No. You want to retain. You want to hold on to that tension that is building up within you. That's where your power is. Get comfortable with that feeling of that foundational tension. And then transmute it. Again, going back to transmutation. Many times a release doesn't occur due to lust, due to a relapse from looking at women. It's from an inability to transmute that energy that you've been retaining in a constructive way. And so we know how to self-sabotage. We know how to release. Instant release of tension. But we don't take into account the negative effects from after that. It's important to stay disciplined. It's important to stay out of doubt. To maintain that clarity of mind. To stay focused on the vision that you're developing for yourself. Why it is that you're retaining. Growing closer with God. There is no doubt there. And through exhibiting discipline and commitment, you're showing that it's possible. Others see that. Others see the benefits. And they will naturally gravitate and practice as well, because the benefits are so clear. You don't have to say anything about it. If people inquire, it's up to you to discuss. But it's through embodiment. It's the hardest thing in the world, but it's the easiest thing in the world. All you got to do is not touch yourself. But again, that energy, that attraction to the opposite sex is so potent. It's the most powerful energy. So if you can harness that and direct it in the way that you wish, in a way that God wants you to direct that energy. Man, limitless. And then encountering women, interacting with women, once you've worked through those feelings of lust, that carnal, impulsive action to release and to look at women and be around them. You can go to the gym, you can go to the supermarket, you can go to the mall and be around them, be around their energy. Not feel like you gotta clutch onto your pearls, like they're gonna take them away from you. And experience their energy. Again, experience as a man that innate attraction to the feminine. Not lustfully, but observe the feeling. Be aware, be cognizant. It doesn't even have to be visual. It's not visual. It's the presence. What do they do around you? You're not in a state of pursuit. You're in a state of existing. And how do people respond to your existence? You're not forcing anything. You're being. And as you accumulate more and more days, you continue to embody the image of the retainer. And I've released enough in my life not to want to experience that again. And I can tell you firsthand that if you're on a streak, that it's not worth releasing. It's not worth getting that contrast. Pride doesn't need to settle in from experiencing the benefits. You can experience them with humility. You can experience the benefits with gratitude. You don't need to taste what it's like to be a releaser. And sure, you may just have an initial goal to retain for a specific, I don't know, something actually tangible. Maybe you want a promotion. Maybe you want a specific woman. Maybe you're looking to work out harder. And you're using retention as a tool. But ultimately, it should be a lifestyle. Why would you ever go back? Why would you ever go back to the lifestyle of being a releaser, of just giving your energy away freely? It's your energy, you're accumulating it. Why not hold on to it? If you are contemplating practicing this path of semen retention, I encourage you to check the link in the description down below for the Sons of God Brotherhood. If you've been practicing for a while, please, in the comments, share. What are your experiences? What are some of the benefits? What's your story? I'm interested in hearing more about you. Thank you for watching. God bless, and may peace be with you.